Hello, today I am going to show you how to make a sock pig inspired by the character of Wilbur from Charlotte's Web. So as part of our learning journey launch, today we are going to be doing another little upcycling project, and at the end of it hopefully we will have our very own pig to take care of, just like Fern does in the book. So to start with, I'm going to show you what materials you need to make your sock pig. Obviously, a sock is useful. I have got a used sock here, so I'm trying to be more sustainable and use an odd sock that has been living in the laundry cupboard for a while. I have used some scraps of fabric to make some little pink ears. I have got a button for my pig's nose, or alternatively another scrap of fabric. I'll see which one sticks best when we come to use it. A hair tie or an elastic band, a pair of safety eyes. So these are special eyes for making soft toys. And they can be attached to these little caps at the back there to keep them on nice and securely. As you can see on here, 4 tiny little elastic bands and some soft toy stuffing. Now you could use anything to stuff your sock pig as long as it's soft. It's a really good project for using up old bits of material or anything. If you've got old pillows and things, take the stuffing out, you can use them for making toys. What I'm going to do just before I begin is I'm going to separate out some of my soft toy stuffing so that I have 4 small balls of stuffing, which I'm going to use later on in this project to make my pig's legs. So I'm just going to pop those to the side for now. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my sock inside out. I've had a look, and this type of sock is pretty much the same on either side. When we fold over the sock towards the end, it's this side that will be on the outside, which is why I've chosen to turn my sock inside out. And I'm just checking that there's no big seam on the toe of the sock, because this is going to be my pig's face. So now I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm just going to bunch my sock up like this so I can see where its face is going to go. Because the first part of this project is to add the eyes to my pig. We do this at the beginning because we have to put the backs onto the safety eyes, and once we've stuffed it we won't be able to do that. So finding the face, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pointed part, oops, quite fiddly to hold, the pointed part of the safety eye to wiggle it through the fabric. So I need to be able to touch the front and the back of my fabric. So if that's where its face is going to be, I'm aiming for about here and here for the eyes. So I'm going to put the first one through and I'm just going to wiggle it. It should go through the fabric fairly easily. And I'm not going to put the back on until I've got the other eye in place. So I want that one probably about here. I'm going to get my other safety eye, poke it through, give it a push. If it gets caught on a thread, it can get stuck a little bit, so just use your fingernails and eventually it will come through. So now, I'm just going to put my hands inside again. I'm quite pleased. Those eyes are lining up. They're not too far apart or close together. And I'm going to just turn the sock so that the pointed bits are poking out the back. I take one of the caps, which apparently are very fiddly to pick up, one of the caps from safety eyes. And what you do is you turn it round, if I show you on the back of my hand, so you've got the larger bit facing down. You place it over the back of the safety eye, and it does take a bit of pushing, but persevere. A lot of crafting is about persevering. I usually find it easier to hold the eye at the back. I'm not sure if you can see exactly what I'm doing there, and push down with my fingernails, and there we go. That's gone on to the back of the eye. Repeat the process with the other one. we go. And my eyes are now securely in place and they shouldn't come off anytime soon. Okay, the next stage of making my sock pig, now that his eyes are in place, is I'm going to stuff the main body of my pig. Now I'm trying to stuff the pig so he's nice and round, up to about the heel of the sock. So this part here where your heel would go and it starts to bend up towards your ankle. It does take quite a lot of stuffing because it squishes down once the air's flattened out of it. So I'm going to start by adding some of this into the sock and then putting my hand in and just pushing it down towards the end. Now you might end up with slightly wonky eyes when you are doing this, so it's just a case of rearranging those so that they don't look odd with the shape of your pig. I'm going to add some more. I'm going to go for the rest of what I've got here. And once the stuffing's in the sock, you just spend a minute just making sure you're trying to even it all out. We want a cylinder shape. We're going to have a well-rounded pig. And you can see that I filled it up to where the heel begins. Once I'm happy with the shape of my pig, there we go, face is looking okay there. I am going to just scrunch up the end of my sock here. And I'm going to use my elastic band or my hair tie. And this is where people with long hair are going to be the experts. I'm going to carefully, so that my elastic band doesn't go pinging off anywhere, secure the end of the sock. So this is what's going to stop all of the stuffing falling out of your sock. So do it nice and tight, not too tight so that the elastic band breaks. You should be able to feel when it's just about the right strength there. Okay, so I'm just checking that shape again, and I have got something that's starting to look a little bit more like a creature. Now I'm going to take the empty end of the sock and I'm going to fold it. Oh, there's a bit of stuffing there coming out of my pig's bottom. That's not very polite, is it? I'm going to fold it over the rest of the sock, the rest of the shape. So I have covered up quite a bit of the face there. I'm not going to worry about that too much at the moment, or that there's a baggy part here, because we are going to be making the feet of the pig. So I'm going to bring the sock down so that there isn't too much excess fabric at the back there. I'm going to decide which way up my pig is going to go. It's going to go, yep, that way up. And underneath, I'm going to make some feet with the stuffing that I have got. So, turning my pig over onto his back, and I'm going to fold down some of the sock there, and I'm going to put one of these stuffing balls into the pig, and this is going to be his back leg. So I'm going to get one of my ridiculously tiny elastic bands, and with both hands I'm just going to put the elastic band around the little ball of stuffing that I made inside, and if I can, I'm just going to twist it round and go over a second time, because the tighter that is, the more likely it is to stay put. So that's one little leg that I've got there. And I'm going to repeat that process, taking a stuffing ball, going underneath that top layer, pushing it down to roughly where the leg needs to be. Just making sure that I can make a little lump shape there, getting my elastic band and tightening it around the stuffing ball there. Slightly odd sizes there. It really isn't going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things. If you're really unhappy, you can undo them and have another go. So because I'm using up this fabric, I'm actually pulling the fabric away from the face of my pig slightly, which is why we haven't cut off any excess fabric. So I'm going to repeat the process again for my front legs. There we go, one little front leg there, and the last one so I don't have a wonky piglet on my hands. You might find this part quite tricky. I'm well practiced at using delicate things like this, so don't be put off if it takes you a few attempts. Remember, perseverance is key when we're doing this sort of task. So now I can sort of rearrange the sock a little bit more, make sure that it's looking nice around the face, and my little pig should be able to stand up, as we can see here. Okay, now for the fun part. We're going to be adding some ears and a nose. You're going to be using a slightly different glue to what I'm using, but I'm having to use the only thing that I had at home. And it's lucky that I'm an adult, because you need an adult to use this sort of glue. So I'm using some super glue because I forgot to bring any other glue home. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue. I'm just popping something down. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to, I've chosen to use a button for mine. And I'm going to stick that onto the front. Now, once I've added my glue, I'm just going to hold that nose in place there for a little while to give the glue a chance to set a little bit before I take my finger off. Okay, and that has gone quite well. It could fall off. If I really wanted to, if I'm making another one at home, I could use the sewing skills that I learnt at Christmas time, hint, hint, and I could sew the nose on at the beginning when I am adding the safety eyes. So the next part, Wilbur's looking quite cute now, is to add on some ears. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the little flaps at the end of the triangles to tuck under this top bit here, but I am going to apply some glue just onto that part of the fabric. I'm just going to peel back this part for a moment, and I'm going to add my ear, and again I'm just going to hold it in place for a moment. You can see it's just lying flat on his head at the moment. That's okay. It should pop up again when we've tucked the end in, and I'm going to add my other ear onto here. And again, just hold them in place for a moment, pushing quite hard just to get that glue to try and stick to the fabric. Then I'm going to fold or roll the sock back into position, and I should be able to make my ears, I say my ears, Wilbur's ears, stick up a little bit there. And that is our very, very sweet finished sock pig. It'd be really nice if we can try and take care of these during this unit. Maybe have it as a writing buddy or a little quiet critter for your desk to give you some inspiration while you're writing. Good luck and have fun with it.